5 things you should have in place for SaaS in 2021. Number one, okay, go industry specific rather than feature specific. I had a guy talk to me, I think it was like 2, 3 days ago. He was like, man, Paulson, I really love a lot of the content that you're putting out there. I really appreciate it, but I really cannot wrap my mind around reviews. I literally just want to provide reviews for $50 or $100, and I don't want to have to do anything else. And for me to do that, I don't see why I have to niche down. And that's a valid point, right? But guess what happens? When you're in that mode of features, you're competing with other feature providers. It's a different ball game. You're competing in a different landscape of competition. You're going up against some monsters, right? By yourself as a small little boat, and you're going against battleships, right? And the reason why I say that is because guess what? A small business owner can go to 100 other review provider, right? There's nothing special about that. They don't see any difference between your reviews versus somebody else. So I truly do not recommend you guys going in front facing and saying, hey, guess what? I can provide a new feature that you haven't fulfilled. Instead, you want to go in as, hey, I work with XYZ industry and we scale their businesses, or I increase volume, or I can help with sales and marketing, but here's how I do it. You don't ever want to go in and say, hey, I'm your Facebook ads guy. You're boxing yourself into the one little what is it called? I used to call it you're turning into a one trick pony, right? And don't do that with SaaS either, right? Number two, are you guys following? You guys, are you guys finding this helpful? Am I breaking this down um, easy enough to understand? Let's see. Okay, awesome. Thanks for the feedback, guys. You guys are amazing. Let's see. Number two, make decisions on the feature combination as the niche expert. So today is the 17th, right? We're about halfway through December. Okay. All the SaaS tech side, the feature side, is going to come out in the beginning of January, which I'm aware of, you guys are aware of, and you understand what's at stake. But meanwhile, you're the industry expert. We're not, right? We can be. I mean, obviously, we have some rush packs and things like that in marketplace that's proven our industry expertise, but that doesn't mean we're actively going after small business owners like you guys are. So, what I recommend is this: draw up a plan for yourself on the combination of features that you're going to include in your SaaS, right? Make your combinations. I personally will make a recommendation of what I think it should be at a universal level, but that doesn't mean that's going to be applicable to all industries. I am personally just giving you a recommendation of bare minimum of 3, 4 things that you should consider. Okay. But I recommend you guys being the industry experts, understanding what that industry needs, figuring out what is their operational pain point that you want to fulfill, and get that done, right? So create yourself your own combination that you think is best for your industry. Number three, okay, and I'm gonna go through these just so you guys know. I'm gonna elaborate on all 5. I just want to layer these out first so we can go into a great conversation here. Number three, create a parent sub account with the actual campaigns. I am saying go ahead and create a sub account, create your combination of messages, and have it ready to go, especially when you go into outbound prospecting and you're able to review that with your customer base, your new client base. Okay. Really, really start attacking that. So that way, guess what? As soon as a SaaS prospect is going to say yes to you, now you're not running around staying up till 2 o'clock in the morning trying to put something together, right? It's just a disaster waiting to happen. So I recommend you creating essentially a parent sub account. It's almost like your templatized sub account that is not going to be used for anything outside of duplication. Okay. Anytime you got a new client ready to go, you just go duplicate and it's ready to launch. You don't actually use it for any client. So it's just really for template. It's just for a template, right? Number four, start, and this is what I want to focus on today more than anything else, is number 4 and 5. I want you guys to start creating your own beta launch with your software for your prospects, right? Start creating your own beta launch. For those of you that have created courses in the past, you know how important a beta launch is. For those of you that have ever sold a product, you guys know how important a beta launch is. With SaaS offer, especially as an agency, I recommend the same thing. I recommend you putting together a small group of maybe 10, 15 people that's going to be in your beta and really having them as industry experts come together and you being the brain behind it. Okay. And I'm going to show you guys how to do this or some things to think about when you do this. So, number 5 is going to be building your outbound messages, your demo slides, and offers. And, I'm in a great mood today. So, because all of you are engaged with me, guess what we're going to do? I'm going to give you some scripts. I'm going to give you guys some actual scripts that you can use for yourselves and go out there and test against your client base. Okay. That's going to be really, really awesome for you guys. And I'll go ahead and post this slide into the help desk and we'll upload it to the YouTube channel as well. So you guys have it as reference. Okay. Give me a 1 if you guys are excited about my scripts. Okay, awesome. So let's go back and review these, right? Industry specific rather than feature specific. Make decisions on your feature combination. Create a parent sub account right away. Create your launch plan, your beta launch, your beta software launch, your beta SaaS launch, whatever you want to call it, right? And start building your outbound messaging, your prospecting. And I'm going to give you some insights to number 4 and 5 very quickly here. So, number 1, go industry specific rather than feature specific. Okay. And I harped on this quite a bit on the last webinar. So I don't want to beat the horse here, but don't be a tool expert. Okay. Don't ever position yourself to be a tool expert. And I've said this before. Anytime people have got on calls with me and I ask them what they do with their marketing agencies, almost everybody tells me, hey, I do SEO, I do Facebook, I do Google, man, and I'm like, great. But the way you should talk about it is like, hey, I'm a dental expert. I am a real estate expert. I am a automotive dealership expert. I am a med spa expert. Like that's how your mind has to function, even at a normal level, especially when you're doing prospecting and sales and being in that mode. Okay, now here's a second mistake I want you guys to avoid before this happens. Currently, you are a service provider. With SaaS, you're a product provider. Okay, you're not a service provider. I know we say it's software as service. That's because we have subscriptions and all these things, but it's not like your agency services. Okay, so what you want to pay attention to is your fulfillment, right? Don't think of SaaS as a service offer similar to how you do your agency services. This is not like you're selling Facebook ads or Google ads. There shouldn't be too much fulfillment is what I'm telling you. Okay, there shouldn't be too much customization is what I'm telling you. There shouldn't be too much freedom that you're giving your client where you're finding yourself consulting on the SaaS that you provide, building out the services within the SaaS that you provide. The whole idea of SaaS is for you to be able to bring a client in, give them the tools, and it's your ultimate do-it-yourself model, right? For those of you that's been in the industry, you understand the 3 big models. It's the do it yourself, done with you, which is consulting, and done for you, which is our standard agency services. SaaS is a do it yourself model. Hey, business owner, I've got a tool. It's going to cost you $300 a month. Here's how you can use it yourself. Don't get number 2 twisted, guys. Don't find yourself fulfilling on the SaaS. You're going to find yourself doing agency services for $300 a month if you don't have this right. Some of you guys are laughing. I've seen this and they're coming back and I'm like, dude, why are we on a support call? You shouldn't have been offering service as SaaS. It's the opposite. You're supposed to give them the tool, let them work at it, get out of the way, right? Now, to a certain extent, you want to make sure you're putting them in a place of success. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how to prep your clients to a certain extent. Okay. Now, number 3, Let's see. Damien says the truth, 100%, brother. So number three, don't overkill with too many capabilities and ruin the experience, right? I call this the Steve Jobs syndrome, right? Most of us fall into this trap, especially in the beginning of when you start a business, okay? Number one mistake most people make right out of the gate is, oh, how do I create the best product possible so my own customers talk about my product? You're not Apple, neither am I, okay? We're not Tesla. We're not giving them a grand experience, or nobody else is talking about this because we're so sub niched into being a provider, right? It's not a mainstream sexy thing that we're talking about, right? We're talking about creating efficiency within their own business. They don't even want to deal with it themselves as small business owners, right? That's why I'm saying don't fall for the trap of, let me create the best possible product ever. Therefore, that alone is going to drive my business into new sales and prospecting. It will not happen. And some of you, the way you compensate to create the best SaaS is by overkilling the amount of features that you're throwing in there. The business owners won't even look at it, right? They just want to know how to make money today and now. That's it. How do we do this? That's what I want to know, right? So the three mistakes that I see most people make as they go into the SaaS mode is this: don't position yourself as a tool expert. Don't think of SaaS as a service. It's a do-it-yourself model. It's supposed to be a product. It's not a service, it's a product. Okay. And don't overkill with the amount of features and think that if you gave everything to your client in that comes with high level, that you're providing something better for them. In my true ultimate belief, less is more, right? Less is more, right? So that's my feedback. These three are the biggest mistakes that I've seen people make.